Good morning. It is 10 a.m. on Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. I call this meeting of the Wichita County Commissioners Court to order. I'm going to let Commissioner Fincannon introduce the person who's giving our invocation.
Okay. I was approached. There's a young man that was wanting to say the prayer for the court today, so if I would introduce Jeremiah Malone. He's a Eagle Scout from Wichita Christian School.
Okay, and if everyone would please stand for our invocation. Mr. Malone.
Please bow your heads with me. Dear Lord, thank you for the opportunities you blessed us all with today. Thank you for this beautiful day. And I'd like to pray for the Reamers and their accident that they recently got involved in. I pray that they make a swift recovery. And I'd like to thank the Lord for this opportunity that He's blessed me with. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Please join us for the pledge to the U.S. flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the pledge to the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, thank you. You may be seated. All right, at this time, I would like to turn it over to Commissioner Beecham, who will introduce an Eagle Scout project presentation.
Okay, Jeremiah, would you like to come up and present the project that you've just completed?
Yes, sir.
This has kind of been a joint effort between several commissioners to get this done. I think he approached Commissioner Watts originally, and Commissioner Watts okayed the project. You've performed a full project out at the Wichita County Cemetery, which brings great value to the community and to those searching for their deceased loved ones. So now if you'd like to explain what you've done.
Yes, sir. So, I chose this project in hopes that many people will be able to find their loved ones. And for me and my family, we have a family tree, and we go out and we search for our relatives. And in some cemeteries, it's hard to find them because some cemeteries they're not taken care of, or the headstones are buried. So I went out to Wichita County Cemetery, and I looked, and we used this website called findagrave.com, and with that we're able to document or search up names and be able to find them in that cemetery. So my plan was to document and photograph and GPS that cemetery and put that information into that website so that people will be able to find their loved ones. And I did that with as many headstones and memorials as I could. There are many that were buried under the soil, and I was not able to get to them, sadly. And but when I first went out there, I planned to take a weed eater and go through and clean up as many as I could. But there are many that were old, brittle, and I could not get to them without, messing them up. So I decided not to go that route, and I came back another day and cleaned them by hand. So when we first started, there were 2,358 documented headstones and memorials. We brought that number up to 2,921.
Whoa.
So
You were
able to locate over an additional 600?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Had
So
no idea
that's
that many.
unreal.
Had no
So it's-
idea.
Locate, photograph, and geolocate, so
Yes, sir.
other people can find. So if you're not familiar with the app, you can go on app or go on, just do a Google search of find a grave, and you can find graves anywhere in the world, basically. If you know a person's name or date of death, date of birth, you can put all that into the location service and
Wow.
search and see the headstone and find out additional information about that person, so.
Yes, sir. So, and I believe that that will make a hopefully lasting indent, and that'll help many people in this community. So,
What a
Were
great
those-
project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. And
Right.
Jeremiah, is that something that on those identifiable ones that were kind of sunken or lower, is that something that they can be elevated somehow or pulled up? Is that stone set in a cement base that's way too low now just because soil has blowed in on it, or?
well, the plaques out there, it's just a plaque, and from what I could tell, it's just there's just grass and soil that just buried it. So most of it you can't even see 'em when you go out there. You can only see just the rivets where they are.
Right.
So, but hopefully at a later time, maybe some other Eagle Scout would have that idea and go out there and fix them.
So,
So.
yeah, with the geolocation now, they're gonna be much easier to pinpoint in the future for anyone that wants to go find them. So even if they do get buried in the future,
They'll be able to find
yeah.
it.
So any more, way we're doing the headstones, they're gonna be a little bit, less susceptible to being buried, so. Thank you for your
Yeah.
project.
Yes, sir.
I just, is there programs that allow, or are there renovations that happen to cemeteries, especially one with our kind of age on it, that allows us to uniform or unify those stones or those plaques that are maybe make them more rolled up in cement sidewalks or whatever the case be there?
That's, if you go out there now and see how we're handling the burials now, they're put in rows of 3, long, so that they're all together. They're not gonna be as susceptible to being buried, but going back and doing a project where the stones are raised, we've done that several times. They still, over the years, when you mow and et cetera, they get buried,
Right.
so.
And in the name of our cemetery in Find a Grave is the Wichita County Cemetery?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
Yes, sir.
That's very interesting.
Well, Jeremiah, congratulations on a great project, and this is a pretty intimidating place to make a presentation. So, you did great.
Thank you.
Thanks for the hard work and for serving our county.
Yes, sir.
And so, are you already Eagle Scout, or you will soon?
I will soon.
Yeah, this,
That's
Good
a
for you.
noteworthy achievement.
Yes.
That's right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So-
thank you.
yeah, thank you for coming and presenting. Typically, when we have an Eagle Scout project, this is part of the whole project is coming to present. So you've done a fantastic job. You did a great job presenting this morning. You should be proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And they did ask if they could bail out afterwards.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest you could.
Does he need a picture or anything to?
Do you want a picture?
Would y'all like a picture
A picture?
with the,
That would be
yeah,
incredible. Yeah.
yeah. Go ahead.
Thank y'all.
Jeremiah, come right up front.
Right? You are.
Oh, you want the whole
Okay.
court?
Why don't you stand right here? Yeah, y'all stand.
I'm awesome. I'm the short.
It's a short guy. Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to stand on the chair.
Make sure we get it there.
You hide me.
Come on in.
You hide me.
Do we want to?
Why don't y'all come up front?
Yeah.
It's hard.
Let's do it right.
All right, scooch in like you like each other, guys.
Jeffrey, come around the other side, please.
Thank y'all so much.
You just hold it over. Excellent, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Following that, I'd like to invite Kylene Dean from the Wichita County District Attorney's Office up, as well as John Gillespie, our District Attorney. So Ms. Dean is our Wichita County Employee of the Month for January 2026. Alana. John let you know you have a full speech to give, right? So we do want to always recognize those who go above and beyond in county service. And we've gotten to have a lot of different folks come here, do a lot of different things around the county, some of whom I interact with on a regular basis, and some of them I don't. And so just want to give a chance to recognize the great work that you're doing and to say thank you on behalf of the county. And I'll let John explain what you were nominated for and why you received the award.
Sure. So Colleen is just, she always has a positive attitude. She's a hard worker. Last year, Anita Manley, who'd been with us for many years and who was Colleen's partner in crime, retired. And so it left a big hole in our office, and Colleen stood up and stepped up to the plate and went above and beyond, which she's already a hard worker, but she just kept our misdemeanor section, the paperwork going, which we process so many misdemeanors. Colleen does all of that. She's helped train the new secretary that we have in there, but just great work ethic, great attitude. We are so blessed to have her. I think she is definitely what we aspire to in Wichita County. So I'm honored to be able to nominate her and that the court is recognizing her for her achievements and her great attitude. Thank you so much, Colleen, for all you do.
Would you like to say anything?
Thank you.
Well, I will give you this plaque and say congratulations.
Thank you.
I give that to you. Oh, we also have a new, I'm jealous, you're the first one to get one.
Wow.
We got our new Employee of the Month, Tumblr, thank you, that you can use. It can be a weapon if you need to.
Keep John in line with
Yeah.
that. so.
Brennan.
So I'll give that to you as well, and we're gonna do a picture right here. Got it. Colleen, congratulations, thank you so much. Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Can we
getting
get
all
a
choked
county
up.
judge of the month Tumblr? All right. Morgan says she'll take that under advisement. All right, then I think that's it for presentations. It is currently 10:13 a.m. We will open up for public comments. I remind folks comments need to be limited to 5 minutes, and no action can be taken by the court on any item brought up during public comment. Do we have any public comments this morning?
Yes, Jeremiah mentioned it in his prayer this morning, the Reimers family. Kennedy Reimers is a classmate of my daughter's in the 5th grade at Wichita Christian. She was devastatingly injured in the accident last Friday involving the motorcycle in Southwest Parkway. She's had a couple of skull fractures. She's currently in a coma at Cook's Children's. Don't know much more than that at this time. They can't even do an MRI because they've got her rods through her skull, whatever, to stabilize. They can't do surgery at this point. So they can't even do an MRI to determine brain activity at this point. So family could definitely use prayers. She was quite a young athlete. It's kind of devastating to see an innocent young child injured that bad. So, so that family could definitely use prayers.
Thank you, Mark. Do we have any other public comments this morning?
Yes, I do.
Joe?
And we don't have on the agenda today, I know y'all love our courthouse updates, annex updates. So up on the board, there's a picture. These are both pictures from yesterday. The one on the left would be your 9 o'clock photo of when we started. The 5 o'clock photo when I was leaving there yesterday, that shows what was done there just yesterday. All we have left is take down the frame and tear out the slab, and we'll be ready to turn it over to dirt work, getting the new building put up. So I'm just gonna show a little bit of picture update. It's kinda nice to see the transformation. The public doesn't realize how much is going on sometimes, so I just wanted to put it out there.
It's always mind-boggling to me. You got folks who are dedicated, working hard, how much progress you can make in one day. That's that evident.
And that is, just for the taxpayers to know, that's the Wichita County Precinct 2 guys there, me there. We had a few guys from Precinct 4 come help us. And yesterday we had 3 of the inmate guys there with Deputy Shepherd helping take that apart. When you get everybody there, get them all working hard, we can get a lot accomplished. And that's saving the taxpayers money, because I think the estimate to disassemble that building was $53,000. We will probably spend less than $1,000. So it's just savings to the taxpayers to take care of it ourselves.
Was that metal easily stacked, Mick,
It's
the
all-
skin on the outside?
The roof was not savable because of the type of roofing repair that was made before. All the skin was saved, but I really doubt anybody would wanna use it. If I were building that building back for one of our county buildings, I wouldn't use that skin. But it all was numbered. I numbered it all and stacked it all on a pallet, bundled it. So if we end up having to sell that building at some point to somebody, put it up for auction, then it'll all be marked and ready to put back together. So,
Good deal. All right, thanks for the update.
bet you.
Do we have any other public comments this morning? All right. It is 10:17 and public comment is closed. That moves us along to the consent agenda. There are 16 items on the consent agenda, and if y'all will allow me to go through some of this stuff, got a lot of comments and things. Item number 5, the motion to authorize the county judge to sign the cornerstone billable labor rate sheet for costs associated with repairs to a workstation in the jail. Commissioners, do y'all have any objection to moving that to general business? I've got some questions and some discussion I'd like for us to have. Okay, let's move that one to general business. Item number 7, motion to authorize the county judge to sign the annual service agreement, contract number USC 666-74554 with Motorola Solutions for the fire department radios in the amount of $48,538.10 to be paid from Department 406 with lines determined by the county auditor. This is a question both for Dwayne and for Matt. I noticed we had that exact same amount encumbered in the 25 budget for this purpose. Is this that, or is this a new 2026 item?
This is the 2025. This was duplicated. This can be removed from the agenda.
It can be removed from the agenda? Okay.
So that's easy.
Well, that is easy. Commissioners, is there any objection to removing number 7 from the consent agenda?
Say $48,000?
Yeah, let's keep doing this then.
Give us 2 or 3 more of those.
Item number 12, I wanted to explain some of these, actually just give a little background on all of the budget amendments that are coming forward. If y'all see Matt come over the table, it's because he's about to correct me because I've gotten something wrong. Item number 12 is the motion to amend CCL 1, Department 444, 2025 budget up to $601 from Department 409 General Fund contingencies. I wanted to remind the court, this would have been under their budget except for the new bond requirement that the legislature put on in the last session. And so that put this budget over, which is why this item is on there. Item number 13, motion to amend 30th District Court Department 440 2025 budget up to $1,000 from Department 409 General Fund contingencies. This was due to having to do new installation stuff when we got them into their new office. Once the construction and stuff was done, we had $800 in floor mats that had to be replaced all in there, new computer equipment. So things that were related to, that are one-time expenses related to putting in the new office. Item number 14, motion to amend Courthouse Security Department 562, 2025 salaries and benefits budget up to $11,250 from Department 561. This was due entirely to overtime, which I know is not a new thing for the court to see, but that was what this overage was due to.
But this is not a general fund expense, this is just moving it from 561 overage?
Correct.
Okay.
What you're moving from 561 to pay for the 562 overage. Item number 15, the motion to amend the County Jail Department 511 2025 supplies, operations, and capital expenditures budget up to $110,000 from Department 409 General Fund contingencies. Just want to remind everybody in the court that the 2025 budget was the first budget that we had moved to breaking out our facilities expenses, largely in trying to get those expenses into each individual facility department so that we could track where the money was being spent, just to give the court better visibility into how we were spending things. Some of that was a shot in the dark for 2025. I think that you're gonna see that 2025 and then 2026 was based on a shot in the dark. We're gonna see that we were a little off on those, so I would expect that to be the case. For this one, that was largely due to under budgeting for utilities, which also was affected by our mid-year lapse of our old agreement that was really beneficial and going to a higher rate.
Well, we're still trying to set a base
Yeah.
for that.
We also had the T.W. Hicks project, which was $30,000. And then the rest of that was cornerstone charges that we didn't expect, and then Trinity AC. So this one concerned me less because we didn't really have a solid number to go from, and now we do.
All those large variables, that's not too bad.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then final one, number 16, which is the motion to amend the EMO Department 406 2025 supplies and operations budget up to $101,000 from Department 409 General Fund contingencies. This was sort of what we were talking about with the last item. 48,000 of this was the radios. 53,000 of it was radio maintenance, and 8,000 of it was radio repeater station. I think you're sensing a common factor here. Radios are expensive. And I think, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, because this one I'm less sure of. When we went to the new radios and the new radio tower system, and those were finally installed, was that last year? Or we went online? Some of this were just, we didn't have numbers yet that we knew what it was gonna cost, and so we just under budgeted for it. I wanted to go through that list, A, to make sure everyone knew what was going on, B, to answer questions, but also, anytime you go over on a department budget, it should raise a red flag, you should ask questions, we should look at it. None of these came out of nowhere. The radio issue is gonna be one that is probably gonna crop up in 2026, because we went up in our budgeting for it. I just don't know if we went up enough. So, anyway, thank y'all for humoring me. Those are all of my comments on.
And that's really all auditing cleanup for the 25 budget,
Right.
which is already passed. So that's the main
As
thing.
we prepare for that.
And
Yeah.
the radio expense will decrease because some of that is not reoccurring.
Most of this is.
I think all of this
Most
is.
of the money we spent on those radios was ARPA. The original investments of it,
But
for the towers and the radio.
But, I mean, I could see the maintenance, but the purchasing of radios won't reoccur.
No, but all of the things that I mentioned, though, are ongoing agreement, maintenance, or licensing.
Contracts, yeah.
We completely revamped our system,
We did.
Yeah.
and got it where we got the hand crank off the side of it.
Well,
No
I'll
longer
tell
use
y'all-
Morse code.
this has been a discussion at Nortex. Wichita County is ahead of the game from all of our neighboring counties because of that investment that was made with ARPA. A lot of our neighboring counties are trying to do the same thing we did, but have to use it from general funds or find other grant monies to do it. So it was a wise investment that'll pay off in in the long run. And I still don't understand how radios work, but that's a different deal.
And I assume, Will, our portables are working much better now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Which is a real safety.
I know the rural fire departments
Yeah.
are much more pleased with it now. It's all digital system now.
Yeah.
So,
All right, I've talked enough on that.
And Judge, I had a question on item 3, Model M and Model P.
I don't have a clue what that is.
Is that something new that,
I can tell you that that is not something new and that I was told I could sign in the past years, and I went to Matt with it because I wasn't super comfortable doing that anyway, and he said it should be something the county judge signs, but they send it every year.
well, do we need that with other vendors?
I
That's what
don't,
caught my
I
eye.
think this one's specific to gasoline and diesel purchases.
Well, that's what I mean, other gasoline and diesel vendors.
Yeah, cause we buy it other
Do we
places.
buy from other
Yeah.
places?
We buy,
that's
I
from
mean,
Expressway and Ralph's, but I don't know if.
and
that's-
Kelly.
That's like a gas station, so I don't know if we can do that with them, that's why we're putting it where we can try to get the reimbursement, we've changed the gas line.
Yeah, but those
But
guys
it's like a gas
are,
station.
those guys are bulk
Hamilton
dealers
is
also.
a
But
gas
even,
station.
but even Kelly, we don't buy much gas, we buy some for equipment.
Yeah,
Margaret,
They
is
charge
this
tax
is this a
up front.
road tax deal?
Is it a tax
Just because it's
issue?
deliverables,
it's
they
a tax,
deliver them
it's a
to the
taxable
site.
fuel, and I don't know any more specifics, so I
Is
apologize.
propane a taxable fuel? Were
I
we,
don't know.
It is.
It is?
They
Well,
charge tax on propane.
Yeah, it's just because they're delivering it direct to site and not us picking it up.
right?
I don't know, probably need to check into it, see if we need it
Yeah.
at other places, but.
Yeah, I don't know how we could do it with a gas station, to be honest, I don't know, I think we're getting it either way, but we're getting it at the front with them, and then we're gonna doing it on the back end for every place else is my.
But we claim all that we're able to identify annually regardless of where it comes from.
Right, right, I don't know, I can definitely contact Ralph, but you know how that normally goes, so I don't know. If, I can talk to him for sure, I can call him, I don't know what's gonna tell him.
Only if it's a benefit to us, I
Correct,
guess,
yes, sir.
it matters.
Yeah, let's do some checking offline to see if we can save it elsewhere. I don't think y'all got any problem with this signing these.
No.
No.
And Judge, on item 10, that is for the upfitting, is it?
Yes, so.
We're not undoing it.
No. We authorized the purchase of the vehicle a couple of weeks back, and this is to handle the upfit, and it does stay under the allotted budget that we gave for
It's just a
Constable
typo,
two.
it says unfitting.
Oh,
Unfitting.
yes, it's for upfitting, not unfitting.
Yeah, that's why-
This was well too
that's
fit
what
for a
I wondered.
county
I
use.
didn't know if we had to redo
Yeah,
something.
We're gonna strip the air conditioning out and.
Paying $11,000, take the air and the radio out.
It's just one letter.
Morgan, let's note that. Commissioners, is there any objection to changing the language of that to
No.
reflect unfitting?
That'd be fine.
Judge,
Let's make sure the minutes reflect
that
unfitting.
department also needs to be corrected. It says 511, which is the county jail
Just
facility.
trying to slide things in. Is it 444?
Will wanted to pay for it.
It's,
No.
502.
502.
And then Judge, on item 11, I didn't understand what the interim interest charges meant.
Van, would you like to explain this?
I think Matt is probably better on that.
I mean, we can keep throwing it back and forth. Okay, so in 2025, we purchased the election van and we purchased a truck, constable
Yes.
truck. And we were charged the price that we were supposed to pay at that time with the fees. Well, 6 months later, they put on the bill for interest charges. And they're saying that those were charges that should have been on the cost of those two vehicles, and now we have to pay them because they forgot to bill them at that time.
Did we pay them in full when we purchased those?
Yes.
So why is there interest?
They're
What?
saying that it was from the original agreement with the acquisition
That
of
should have
the
been,
vehicles.
should have been in the original agreement. It's
I
too late,
completely-
if it's not in the original agreement, it's too late for them to add it on.
So this,
Completely agree with you.
this was not related to accruing interest over the life like we did, because I think in my mind, I thought these were for
It
BMO
was
vehicles.
part of they're saying it was part of the $30 maintenance fee per month, but it's actually part of the,
Well,
Is
do
there
we
a-
need to,
Let's take this one off and
Yeah.
get additional
yes,
info.
or drop it into general discussion?
Not when
one or
we're-
the other.
Not when we buy it outright.
right.
That's not.
And I went back and forth with them and they basically just said, tough luck.
Well, and I'll remind everyone, we paid the full price for them. They were still leased vehicles. It was just, they weren't bought outright. It was a lease that was paid for from day one. So there still shouldn't be any interest. But, and I think that doing general business won't help us. I think we need more info.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
Commissioners have objection to tabling and removing
No.
item 11 from
No.
consent agenda?
And with that, Judge, I'll make the motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Can I say something? I'm sorry.
Of course.
I should have caught this when it
Yeah.
initially came out, but on item number 6, the sheriff's office is not exempt on its racial profiling. Y'all should have had included some statistics for last year's stops, and a breakdown by race and actions taken. So anyway, if you just take the word exemption out, that'd be.
This is the size of the font that is on the report. So,
My goodness,
Yeah.
you'd have to have a magnifying glass.
even then it wouldn't.
So
Take a
But it is
basically
not,
a typo then, y'all, no exemption, just take exemption off.
Just take the word exemption
You
out.
filed the racial
Filed the
profiling
report, yes.
reports that are required.
Yes, sir. And I'll be more than happy to forward you any of our spreadsheets if you wanna see them, since they came that way you'll have an electronic copy.
you actually can see them when they're not printed. They're fine. If you-
Okay.
But, okay, so that one will now read motion to acknowledge the filing of racial profiling reports in accordance with.
We're not exempting it,
We're
we're
filing
Right,
it,
we are not
filing it,
exempt from
so,
filing.
I got
for,
you.
for public consumption, so.
Yes, sir.
All right, and this is so that, make sure we're all on the same page. Commissioner Watts has made the motion to approve the consent agenda as amended. Commissioner Beecham,
No.
no,
No.
Buchanan,
Big-
seconded the motion, and that consent agenda now reflects item 5 has been removed to general business, and item 7 is now taken off. Item 10 has changes to, it says upfitting, and the department number has been changed to 502, and item 11 has been removed from
You
the
skipped
agenda.
6.
And 6 has now reads racial profiling reports. Takes a village.
perfectly clear.
All right.
Sounds good.
Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or any of the items? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. Taking up the item that was moved down to general business, motion to authorize the county judge to sign the cornerstone billable labor rate sheet for costs associated with repairs to a workstation in the jail. Let me find my sheet. This is an ongoing frustration for us with Cornerstone, and so I wanted to bring it up for some larger discussion. So if I understand it correctly, and I'll ask the sheriff's office folks to let me know, we're essentially confirming, and I'm guessing they're doing this because they've had folks come back and say, how dare you charge me that much after the fact. We are essentially just signing that we understand what the rates for billable labor for support are ahead of this specific project. Is that correct?
I really thought it was for the whole year and not specific, on one specific project. I thought we signed one in 25 and then one in 24. I don't know the project they're referring to.
Well, and I think that part of that confusion is because the sheet itself has a purchase order number, which would lead me to think that it's for an individual project, but,
I have one, yeah. Let's remove that until we figure that out.
the other thing I would encourage, I was just looking at it, Telephone support is billed per hour at the above rates, 1 hour minimum and 15-minute increments thereafter. At $195 an hour, that they're very proud of their support personnel, and maybe they should be. Brendan, I might ask is just as a larger where we're going with something, it might be worth looking again at options for alternatives for Cornerstone
Yep.
to have for discussion during our budget sessions. I know we're probably,
We're already talking about that.
Okay.
We've got ideas, so.
Yeah.
Well, some of these rates are astronomical.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
It's,
it blows an attorney out of the water, and that's, to me, just taking advantage of us. That's
Yeah.
all that is occurring.
and it's not just us, it's
No.
the 2 or 3 vendors that supply this type of equipment to jails. It's pretty universal that they do this, in talking with other counties, so. But I think we've got an alternative in mind that will help avoid some of this.
okay. Well then, unless there's objection, we'll remove this from discussion today while we figure out if this is for the full year or for a specific
Yeah, I was
project.
under the president's for the full year like we did in the previous years.
Okay.
Do you have any idea how many of those service calls we've had to make just to call in?
Normally we email them everything, and then it waits 2 to 3 weeks for we get
Email
email
is
back.
probably a
Yeah.
1 hour minimum also.
That was gonna be my other question for the auditor's office. That's probably a Margaret question. Before we take this up again next week, would it be possible just to get an idea for what 2025 service,
Sure.
what we spent with Cornerstone in 2025?
We can put it on there for the 10th, give us 2 weeks to look at
Okay.
it.
I'm just,
Morgan, can you make that note?
the reason I ask, are we making
Yes, please.
32 phone calls that are 2 minutes and getting billed 195
Yeah.
2-minute calls?
Normally we email them anything, then it takes a while before we get an email back. The response is usually days or weeks.
All right. Then with no objection, we will table this item until March the 10th for discussion. All right. That brings us to general business, which we're already in, but for actual approved general business, item number 1. Review and approve the regular bills for payment, verify payroll taxes have been filed, and authorize county treasurer to disperse payroll and/or bills within 72 hours via U.S. mail, FedEx, UPS, electronically, or be picked up and acknowledged by a ledger signature in the treasurer's office.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Fincannon to approve bills for payment, verified payroll tax have been filed, and authorize dispersal of payroll and/or bills. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or the item?
Judge, just for Margaret's benefit, and I will forget to follow up, Margaret, with you, and I know you'll follow up with me, but I'm sending you a email for, Brendan had wanted some devices that I currently use, and Brickhouse is able to, that's a vendor that I use, and they're gonna be specifically for Brendan, now that we've got them determined what we were looking at. So you can follow up with
Okay.
me or him when that occurs, it's on deals, so.
Okay, yes, sir.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments on that motion or the item? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. Item number 2, discuss, consider, and/or take action on a road use and maintenance agreement with Total Energies LLC. I think I see Quinard back there.
I was trying to hide.
So, been some modifications in the plan that I've talked about with Total, and I wanted him to address the court and sort of brief in terms of the road use and maintenance agreement, because we went through multiple iterations of this. But just kind of wanted to give the opportunity to address the court on what's going on.
Yeah, so through several meetings and discussions with my execution team, and I'm pretty sure we heard like all the news of how the project is going, that we have an EDC company involved. They're actually on the call briefly to kind of discuss, but it's been kind of decided to restrict the access of any project vehicles and, on the area next to the North Buffalo Creek Reservoir.
Sorry, I meant the larger
Okay.
change of the scope of the project and the battery storage. No.
Okay, that too,
Yeah.
I can get to that too.
Oh, okay, all right. Sorry.
So one of the other changes is specifically that we will still be doing battery storage, but we wanna take that out of the, abatement right now because that's gonna be done on a separate LLC. So I have to come back and kinda start this process over for the battery storage, but, I know that's kinda complicated, but it's, so, long story short, the EPC company will, create the PV, right now, which is under the Wichita One LLC.
The PV, which is.
Photovoltaic, that's the solar.
Solar panels.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's a
Sorry,
good question.
I'm used to speaking in acronyms.
I don't mind asking questions.
Yeah, ask me.
That actually simplifies
Right.
the deal quite a bit, because that was kind of an unknown component, and that's where a lot of our fire suppression, questions came in. If that's not really
Correct.
part of it, that really makes it a lot.
So that is gonna be done, but it's not gonna be done in this
At the
first
same
phase?
time, right,
Okay.
so it'll be done at a later stage.
On the
and a
same
separate LLC.
plot of land that we're doing phase one in, or is it gonna be in the phase two?
No,
plot?
it's gonna be on the same plot of land.
Okay.
So, and it's kind of weird to understand this, but, how the company will work, the EPC company, they'll kind of build out the solar panels, but they'll leave the, the space and stuff for where the BESS and all that is gonna go.
And BESS is,
The battery storage.
Okay,
Um,
so,
and, I mean, that's specifically it for Wichita One. I don't know if we wanna, I guess we wanna stop there. I can-
yeah,
are we gonna be amending the entire agreement at that
So-
point, or?
because at this point, the abatement agreement's been authorized, but I still haven't signed it because
Correct.
we needed to have a road use agreement
Yeah.
before we moved forward. So probably gonna be bringing that back up before the court, just so that everyone's on the same page, of what's moving forward, because the number amounts haven't changed, the dollars haven't changed, the years haven't changed, the scope of the project has changed a little bit, and therefore the asks as part of the abatement with training, not really training, but like fire equipment, that type of thing that was specifically for battery storage, fire suppression, is no longer a necessary component because it's not envisioned as part of the project.
Right.
Only because a different company, different LLC is gonna put in the battery storage, is that what I understood?
Well, right, so, not a different company, but yeah, just a different LLC. We'll kind of use that. So, long story short, when we're doing this, we gotta get funding, so we gotta get that final investment decision specifically for that, that's gonna pay for that separate,
So you
battery storage.
anticipate a later date on that, is that, or?
Yeah, definitely a later date. I have to work with execution and, the EPC company. I guess I can tell their name because they already won. It's Mortensen, who will be doing the installing the solar panels. Right now they're getting ready to do some clearing and stuff.
So, today we're taking action on road use agreement, which, can you give us highlights of what that includes? Because this is important moving forward in, on all of our other projects that are going on in the community.
Do you wanna do that, Quinard, or do you want me to?
I'll do it briefly, and if I miss some, I guess you can help me out.
Okay.
So, I actually have this all written up because Judge, I was supposed to give you an email, but the email is ready. But what we were doing, so they actually did for your Exhibit C, you asked for a pre-construction road condition report, and that's usually like video. So we're actually getting that uploaded,
Okay.
so that I can attach that link for you to be able to view it and download those videos so y'all can watch them. So you actually can see, the video of the road's conditions right now. But ultimately the rumor, and then for Exhibit B, which would be the list and the map of the county roads that we plan to use, we'll be using the Folk Station Road, so FM 2384, and then kind of coming around that corner to FM 1739, then to FM 2345, and a portion of then turning that corner going to Burnett Ranch Road, all the way down until it's just unaccessible.
So,
So-
to answer Commissioner Beecham's question, there's going to be, prior to the commencement of them getting their equipment on the roads, they'll work with,
Right.
that's in your precinct,
Yeah.
right? They'll work with Commissioner Mahler and his folks to do a road
Yeah.
condition assessment report. They'll get that, everyone will agree to what the roads are now. Then they will, as the project goes along, that basic level of maintenance that was there before is
Right.
what the county is responsible for. But any extra construction work that needs to happen, whether it's to expand what they can hold, whether it's to fix damage caused, the company's gonna be, the developer's gonna be responsible for.
Right.
And we basically trigger that. Y'all are gonna be on the ground, good partners should work together or
Right.
something.
Sure.
But if for some reason they're not getting to it or don't know about it, we can give it to them in writing of, hey, we've seen these issues, and they've got 14 days to repair them.
Right.
There was talk at one time about them fixing the drainage problem with Buffalo Creek Reservoir there. They have instead, and he just laid it out, but rather than come from 287 north up Burnett Ranch Road, they're gonna come around on Folk Service over and approach it from the north.
But it sounds like they're still accessing the majority of Burnett Ranch
Well,
Road.
they are, they're coming in from the north, because that's where the property, I drove the whole
But-
route
Yeah.
yesterday.
But
Looked at
once
it. And
Barry,
that's a much better choice, by the way, using that state highway is gonna be better. We will have Burnett Ranch Road open, I'm gonna say in the next 2 weeks.
and once
Something
that
progressive
occurs,
with that.
what, I mean, and once his service people realize that there's a lot faster
Sure.
exit into 287 by using all of Burnett Ranch Road, I mean, it's just going to, think about access.
It needs to be included.
Yeah, I don't see anything changing with the scope of impacting Burnett Ranch
Well,
Road.
and so, sorry, that's correct. And I think if, I would hear that and say, for Exhibit B for the roads being used, just put the whole road, no, just set, between the sections. However, to your point, I was saying that because at one time we talked about them building up the road so that would no longer be underwater if we had a big water event. If they're not approaching from the south, that's not a necessary component, and I think Commissioner Mahler's already largely.
Yeah, it makes
But-
a
Fix
lot
that
more
yourself.
sense to use.
That whole road
other
needs to be
route.
protected.
That road, that state highway on the west side of the property, it's got much better access, it's got a better, egress, regress from 287, it's just a better place to haul the big loads in that you're gonna be hauling. But Burnett Ranch Road will be open and it'll be used, because that property comes, probably nearly all the way to that lake, where that problem's occurred with the lake, but,
Yeah, but the part that we'll own and that we'll be actually building on kind of stops right there.
yeah, you'll have access, that won't be your main route, is what I'm
Right,
hearing
and,
you say, yeah.
So, one of the big things at Total is like safety. So
Yeah.
definitely with Mortensen, if that road does open, I can assure you, if they say they're not gonna use it, they won't use it. And, I'm pretty sure
I don't know how you could say that to another company that
But
are
that's-
leaving a job site
Yeah.
or leaving a load with a truck, and it's a mile and a half to 287 this way or 8 miles that way. I'm telling you.
They're gonna
Yeah,
take,
but that-
So what do you, if
but
you,
that
if
truck
you're
would be
just,
too heavy.
if your word is the only reassurance we have and they are doing that, then what are our fallbacks?
Yeah.
That's what we're kinda
Well, I
getting at
mean,
here.
and
it needs
the
to be
weight,
included.
and the weight limit though, I mean, the very south tip of Burnett Ranch Road and the north end of Burnett Ranch Road all bear the same weight. You know, I mean, it's not going to be the lake level has just rose and got encumbered some of Burnett Ranch Road, but I mean, the road is virtually the same road from one end to the other, you know, as far as what it can contain.
The north end's unpaved, the south end is paved.
Yeah.
But basically,
Yeah.
it's not a high-capacity road.
Road.
It never has
No.
been. And so,
Most
not
of them.
near what the state highway is on the west side of the property, but it will be. And we need to have it open for our emergency responders more than anything, and
Yeah.
move other equipment around. And
Absolutely.
the sheriff's office has been very good about helping us, because boy, 287 is treacherous right now to try to move anything down. And,
Right.
so, anyway,
So-
once again, I drove the whole route out, and that is the best route over on the west side. But it won't all come, because that property runs all the way across to the other road.
Right.
You'll have access, you'll have access on both sides, which I think would aid the construction considerably.
I
It's
do
gonna
want to
be
say
interesting.
that
Yeah.
road use agreements are very important going forward. This is kind of a first of many to come. This is one of the great things about doing a pilot agreement is we can control some of this. Both.
Which has bitten us pretty
Yeah.
bad in the past.
Commissioner Fincannon and myself both experienced quite a bit of destruction on roadways in the building of the two new high schools with very little recourse to go back. So learning this first step for
Right.
us is big, doing these road use agreements.
And
We've
I'll-
got a lot of construction about to
And I'll
happen.
bring this up off what he said. I had a verbal agreement with the contractor doing that to fix the road. Lo and behold, he died in a plane crash.
Yep,
I'm
I
sorry
had the
for
same
his
verbal
family.
agreement.
Yeah.
But
So-
Yeah.
that word didn't help the county taxpayers when all was said and done. Not that I'm saying anything about your word, I'm just saying if that's
No,
the
no, I
only
understand.
thing I have to go on, then I
Yeah.
would be hard
Yeah.
pressed to ever go with.
So this is a very important step of what I'm trying to communicate to the public. These road use agreements, we'll be seeing more and more of these to come as these new large-scale projects occur in our community, because we need to protect our assets. And
But our county road repairs are not near the amount of money a state highway is.
No,
So, you know, when your total's looking at that, you know, if we're looking at a 10-mile stretch of road, a 10-mile stretch of road for us to refurbish is nothing even close to a state road, a highway. I mean, the price per mile on ours is extremely lower.
Right.
But that's just something to keep in mind.
But it can still run $1 million,
Go ahead. We have,
Yeah.
we have a state,
depending on, you know, the depth of
a
work. you
gentleman
gotta
at the
do.
state would like to chime in here.
Got folks from TxDOT
Right,
here with
right.
us.
So since we see the shift on our roadways, we would request that we either hear from Total or are attached on some of these exhibits.
That's one thing I wanted to ask. I mean, I realize that we're not the one footing the bill for TxDOT's roads,
No.
but are y'all gonna have any type of road use agreement with TxDOT?
I'm sure we'll have to explore that route just because, we usually have road use agreements for all of these expansions coming into play, so. But
And will there be entrances and exits off of those state highways? Which is FM 2384, 1739?
I'm sure there.
Other than a wide gate.
Yeah.
so
No.
No culverting required on the state?
Well, we do have the culverting permits that,
Right.
that we talked about. So Mortensen, has that to kind of put in, as needed.
So for additional access, they'll need to reach out through our office to
Okay.
permit driveways on the
Yeah.
state roads.
And who's his contact there?
It'll be me for
Okay.
right now, but I'll give you the card.
Yeah, I was gonna put in.
Well, and culverts off that road, you guys are gonna need to stack that, I would assume. You're gonna put one in there, it's in your right of way, so.
Yeah, and he may not, they may all be off Burnett Road.
They could be. No, I bet you there's gonna be,
Some of
there's
them.
gonna be some over there.
And
So I'll say this before, and then Commissioner Watch. When we came in today, and I didn't have all of the documents yet from Quinard, it was gonna be my intent to push actual decision by the court on this anyway from today, because I haven't seen the final document, and therefore neither have y'all. And so, especially in light of now the TxDOT concern, the expression expressed about all of Barnett Ranch, we'll need to have more discussions
Correct.
on this before authorizing the agreement.
And-
Okay, now that's it, go ahead.
so Quinard, yesterday, in visiting with a Hardeman County friend, there's a large project out there between Quanah and Childress, a solar panel project. Totally encumbered by tall grass underneath those panels, even up beside those panels. What within our agreement prevents that from happening?
Prevents it,
What if Total wanted to do nothing about, that vegetation? And I can only imagine what a nightmare it would be to fight that fire with those solar panels.
I think our emergency management just passed out in the back. I'm just hearing that. So,
Is there a stipulation that says that Total will maintain a shorter,
we talked
length
about
of
that in
vegetation?
that earlier discussion.
I mean, I know we've talked about it and we
Yeah, yeah.
assumed that it
I
would
can-
occur, but
I can answer that question.
Okay.
That's actually an easy question. So one of the things we do on our current operational projects, we use sheep grazing to make sure that doesn't happen. And I'll just use like one of my directors. She always says best practices. That's definitely a Total Energies best practice to keep that grass low and keep those sheep in there to kind of keep that down and under control. So.
But the question was, is there something in the contract that says that? Or is that
I
just
mean-
your word that you are gonna keep sheep out there?
Yeah, I mean, that's,
And keep it under, you see what I'm saying?
it's a best practice for sure, and I'm sure that the group up at Hardeman County knows that it's best as well, but what makes it be
Enforcement.
at least to you to comply with that condition? Because, I mean,
Well, there's no regulating.
Yeah, I mean, there's no, I was gonna say there's no regulation to do that, but it's a company
Well, not a
standard.
regulation, but as part of our agreement.
Maybe I'm missing
Yeah,
something.
we're fine.
It's a private project with private property owners that's gonna have more concrete on it than it did before. Why do we?
no, it
care?
won't,
No, it
Jim.
won't have more
Jim,
concrete.
it'll just be post out there with solar panels on the top of them. And if you think the whole thing grows up in vegetation, significant vegetation, and a fire starts on 3,000 acres,
I mean,
that
all the
Matthew can't
plastic.
get trucks in on, or Dwayne can't get out there in, because you don't know what you're running over.
I
If you
can-
can't,
I can get photos of our active solar sites in Texas. We have over, say, 9 or 10 right now. I can get you photos of how those
probably-
look like
I can
right
see
now,
that
so you
word.
can see that vegetation management to kind of understand that. That's not
it,
how we
it
want
would
our
seem
sites
like
to
it
look.
only makes sense, and I wouldn't want the vegetation under my farm in Hardeman County at all. I think that's very dangerous, but
Right.
at the same time, if it occurred, it becomes a nightmare, because you're not able to get in there
And you're-
without
all the
destroying
I
a
mean,
lot of,
I was thinking of it a different way. I wouldn't wanna live in Pumpkin Center and that place be burning with all them plastics burning. Be downwind of all that plastics. I mean, we have a lot of range fires in that particular area. We have had over the last few years,
One a
there's
year.
always one, a big one a year.
One a year.
So, it's just, also, is there anything in the contract that stipulates that they have to have range management?
And the short answer to that question is right now, no.
Yeah.
Well, it's an abatement, so it could be.
Could be. Yeah, I mean, that's where the.
because
agreements come in.
the expense, Quinard would suffer damage, no doubt, to panels, but we would suffer a great, or I say we, volunteer fire departments within the county could be greatly hindered because of that.
And again, I'll remind everybody, we can't talk about this except in Commissioners Court, which is why
Yep.
this is all coming out now, because we literally can't do it. And so, that's why I asked my dumb question of, that's what this is about, so.
Well, the deal is I would assume that the company, the owner, they're the ones with the risk.
Yeah.
The big
Well,
risk.
if
You
it's-
melt your deal, that's not gonna go well, and I assume it's insured at some point. It may be self-insured, or it may have an outside company writing the policy, but they're gonna have, questions about that too. I mean, but once again, it is a private property deal.
It is.
And we're limited on.
But if it's your standard practice to do vegetation management, it shouldn't be a problem to include a paragraph on vegetation management within our final agreement.
Correct.
I mean, yeah, so that's a,
And none of us are asking you to say yes
No,
or
I
no
know.
on our
No,
route.
okay.
I would-
Because I
I
know that's,
would-
probably has to go above you.
I would never say that, so.
It would provide our citizens great comfort to have a paragraph in the agreement showing that y'all do provide vegetation management
Well-
as a standard operating procedure that you do in all of your other facilities.
Well,
I think
right.
that's the ask here.
And I just wanna kinda bring up the point that this discussion kinda came up from another solar farm that it's not our company, like, I have no idea who that is.
Sure.
So-
I never
But
even
you've
thought about.
represented that you do this as a standard practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So-
do.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
so it's nothing.
if it's a standard practice, it shouldn't be a problem to include that in the agreement, that this is our standard practice, this is what we intend to do.
I would like to say, we ask a lot of these questions because we are bombarded with citizen complaints and calls wanting us to find out every little possible thing we can. So sometimes.
Correct.
And this is the only forum that we have to discuss this
Yeah,
together.
no problem.
Yeah.
So some of this comes out, but we do need to answer questions because we're asked a lot of questions. And
Okay.
nobody else is gonna be held accountable when something happens. It's only gonna be these 5 people right here's fault. It won't be your fault.
Nope.
Oh, it's definitely gonna be my fault.
But I mean,
No, it's
in
gonna be our
the public
fault.
eye, it won't.
It's definitely gonna be my
So-
fault.
No, we want a successful project. We
Correct.
want everybody to be happy, and at the end of the day, we want this to be good, so,
At least 90%.
well, no, yeah, you don't make everybody happy.
When the big loads come in, the TxDOT guys have got the best roads, so, they've got the best.
You
roads.
said it, not me.
Yeah.
We want
I mean,
TxDOT to be happy too, we gotta work with them.
They got the best roads.
But no, I definitely hear the commissioners, and, about your ask, and I'll take it definitely back. And only thing I would say to that, without, I guess, agreeing with you, is that, I guess when you send back the tax abatement, if you kinda have a little tidbit of that language, or if you want us to come up with,
Oh, no, I imagine there'll be something.
Yeah, no, we'll,
Yeah, that's-
we'll
that's
send
not a
something.
problem. We actually enjoy using the sheet to kind of do that, because it gives us great, like, photo ops to have, you know.
It's very environmentally friendly.
Correct, right,
We like that.
to
Well,
show the
our-
sheep,
you
the
know-
big sheep, the baby sheep eating the grass.
Our
Can't
expectations
beat
it.
would be that you would do it in a very professional manner.
Yes,
The way it's supposed to be maintained. I mean, that's where we would wanna see it go, and I would assume you guys would too. You wouldn't have any reason
Right.
not to, but.
Yeah, I don't know that company.
Yeah.
You know, I might do a research, find out who that is, but it's definitely not Total.
I think where we are, to put a bow on this today, is, we have discussed and we have considered, we will not be taking action. And then, after court today, Quinard, will work on the scheduling and then the language for changes to the abatement agreement, because I'll have to get with Melvin and see if we need to essentially treat it like we're starting over, or because we don't actually have an agreement in place, what we need to do from a scheduling standpoint for that. And then I'll get you, I think a lot of this on the road use agreement specifically is just gonna be making sure that Exhibit B and what roads are listed on there reflects
Okay.
as a whole. And then, of course, I may check in with our TxDOT folks and make sure that
Yeah, no
y'all are
problem.
all in a good.
We just need, I mean, this is really the first contact that we've had, so.
Okay.
Hotel, so it's nice to.
And it's just another way to get you
Yeah.
back to Wichita County again at a later date.
Right.
I know you're up here all the time. but-
All the time. And no, so we actually, I'm pretty sure we reached out to TxDOT for like crossing agreements.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure we received that we didn't.
So I just took over this position as
Okay.
area engineer. We had someone else.
Okay.
He moved over to our district office, so, I'll see if they have anything. but,
Right.
As far as.
And at the end of the day, we've always had a great working relationship with TxDOT.
Yeah, yeah.
And
We wanna keep that. We
want
absolutely want
to
that.
comment on what Barry just said. Brian Moore is here today and continually stays in touch with us and just out floating and looking at everything, and he's got, and that's how they realized you were going to be here today, just with the constant contact that we had with them. So Brian, thanks for the way you work that all the time, so.
We tease one another, but at the end of the day, we all work for the same people. So,
I understand.
We just have a lot smaller wallet.
Yeah.
A lot.
We said this throughout the whole thing. There's not any concern or doubt that Total is going to be a good partner and it's going to be a great project. But we also realize that we're breaking new ground for a lot of potential projects, and how we do this is going to set that stage, and so we want to make sure we do it right.
Perfect.
And again, you don't get to have conversations with everybody. We have to do these in a public forum. So
Y'all just happen to be the first up,
Yeah.
so.
And we appreciate you being here.
yeah.
Believe it or
Yes,
not.
sir. I'll be back to the next week.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bernard.
Thank you.
Were there any other questions or comments on that item, the discuss, consider, take action on road use maintenance agreement with Total? Okay. With no action taken, we will move along to item 3. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Quinard.
Item number 3, discuss, consider, and/or take action to award mortuary transport services bids. I think y'all opened these up a couple of weeks ago while we were gone. Tana put together everything in one place. You should have that in your backup. There's 2 items to bring your attention to. One was she put together both of the proposed pricing sheets. I'll remind everyone of that. We had 2 bids submitted. One was for Tex Line Mortuary and one was for Wichita Falls Embalming. The Tex Line cost for pickup within Wichita County was $100. For Wichita Falls Embalming, it was $90. And then the fixed cost for transport to Dallas for autopsy is $280 from Tex Line, $250 from Wichita Falls Embalming. You all have the scoring rubric that was done for the bids. And on this, with the weighted scoring that was listed in the RFP, combined totals of that, there were 3 different scores given. Tex Line had a weighted total of 14.05, and Wichita Falls Embalming had a combined score, a weighted score of 13.4. That's all of the data and the facts for it. Do we have questions, comments, thoughts? I'll also invite, if we've got any input that either our indigent health folks who work day in and day out with our vendor on this, and our Judge Hughes is here for our JPs as well. If y'all have any comments, thoughts, we'd love to hear those as well. If you don't, we'd love to hear your silence as well.
Is Judge, he's
right there.
Yeah, I'm just here if the commissioners have any questions. I know we've had an outstanding working relationship with Jay out at Tex Line. They're very professional, they're very prompt. I know talking about death is a sensitive matter, but when they're handling our cases and our clients, they're very professional, they're very timely. They're a phone call away for any of our judges and our clerks if we need help or assistance. I know they're spot on with everything that we use them for.
Victoria, do you have anything to add?
So this time using Tex Line, we haven't had any issues. They're very prompt. We have communication across the board, no issues. If I ever have a question, they try to find the answer for me. This year around, we got a burial for the first time, so we all kind of learned, and it was pretty much smooth sailing once we were able to get all that information squared away.
Thank you.
Matt, I appreciate your staff putting the scoring rubric together. That makes things a lot easier.
Yes, sir.
I'll just be upfront with my thoughts on this, and you can see it because I was one of the folks who did scoring. To me, the pricing is such that it's close enough to be, and it was reflected that Wichita Falls Embalming did score a little better on that because their price is, I guess, about 10% less. With that said, that's not the only factor for the court to consider when it's trying to figure out what best value is. And the fact of continuing a working relationship that has worked well and that gets nothing but rave reviews from everybody who works with TextLine on this is also something that I took into consideration, and I think it's something that the court should consider as well. And so my score reflects it, and my recommendation is to approve the bid that was submitted by TextLine for indigent transport.
And I'll second that motion.
I will make a comment on that, I've been contacted by several people that have done business with both and also told me the same thing. Not saying that they've done business with both, and they highly recommended TextLine, and that's coming from people in the community that have, like I said, have used both. So I'd have to agree.
Okay. So we have a motion by me, seconded by Commissioner Watts, to award the mortuary transport service bid to TextLine. Do we have any questions or comments on that motion or the item? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. Thank you. We also got item number 4, which is discuss, consider, and/or take action to award indigent disposition of remains bids. Let me grab the documents for that. All right, on this one, I think I put it back together. The scoring for this one, TextLine had a weighted total of 13.85 compared to Wichita Falls Embalming, who had a scoring of 12.9.
Do we have that in our backup?
Should.
The number 3, because I think it got added so late that it might
It's on
not.
this.
Oh, is it, it's on that previous, okay.
Sorry, I'm
It's
trying
on
to
the front.
find the
It's on the top.
the pricing difference on those. Anyone have that right in front of them?
Judge, what was the question there? I had it
It's-
pulled up.
I was just gonna make sure it's
In
for the,
both.
for public record. I know y'all did it when you opened the bids, but for what the pricing difference was. Oh, here we go. All right, for cremation, adult cremation, which is overwhelmingly what the county does. TextLine's cost was $430. For Wichita Falls Embalming, it was $400. For adult direct burial, for TextLine, it was $1,195. For Wichita Falls Embalming, it was $750, and both bids had zero cost for non-adult disposition. I will say this, I asked Adriana and she got me the numbers. In 2025, the Indigent Health Office received 70 notices of potential cremation applications. 51 of those were approved for county cremation. Were there any burials in 2025? There were not. So just as an indicator of what the numbers are that we're talking about there. And without belaboring the point, my recommendation and motion is gonna be the same as for the last one, which is understanding that there is again, about a 10% price difference between the two bids. The fact of working with a group that we've had good success with and that overwhelmingly gets recommended, I'm going to recommend that we award the indigent disposition bid to TextLine.
And I'll second that motion, Judge.
does say best, doesn't it?
It's best value,
There you go.
taking into account everything that means. All right, do we have any questions or sorry, motion's been made by me, seconded by Commissioner Watts to award the indigent disposition bid to Texline Mortuary. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or the item? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you to both parties who submitted bids. Appreciate it. Item number.
Let's talk about road materials.
Item number 5. Discuss, consider, and/or take action to award road material emulsion bids. This one's actually easy. Tana followed up per the court's request with, is it MGS? Yeah, with MGS, because there was a vast price difference between the two, so we were trying to figure out if we were talking apples to oranges. MGS responded back to her that they had made a mistake and quoted an asphalt product instead of a liquid emulsion product, and they had requested that we remove their bid from consideration. That leaves us with one bid from Ergon, and so unless y'all see a reason not to, we've got one bid to work with.
No.
Motion to approve Ergon.
Second. And we're used to that vendor and know them, and they do a good job.
All right, we've got a motion by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Watts to award the emulsion bid to Ergon. Do we have any questions or comments on that motion or the item? All right, that motion's before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 6, discuss, consider, and/or take action on issuing a county burn ban. Dwayne.
Favorite part of our program.
There you go.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Visited with the chiefs yesterday evening, I guess it was, and kind of talked about the red flags warnings we've been having last week. We had 2 or 3 of those last week. Of course, everybody knows what happened in the panhandle of Texas, Oklahoma, and burned up into Kansas. So there's a lot of strike teams, there's a lot of equipment, there's a lot of resources that are out and about. Last week and this week, got an update from Texas Forest Service this morning here in Burke Burnett. They've actually got 2 different crews of have an Alpha Division and a Bravo Division where they have 2 dozers and an engine, 2 dozers and an engine staffed out there today, plus have a strike team and some more medical equipment out there for this area in this region right in here to be able to move wherever they need to. Red flag warning today was issued late last night, 20 to 30 mile-an-hour winds, gusting to maybe 40 today. Talking about the humidity, it's going to be around 10%, or maybe a little bit lower. Said everything.
That's about where green wheat will burn.
Yes, it's getting to that point pretty close. The general consensus with the chiefs were, like I've said before and I've said again, the control burn people are doing a good job with that. The burn ban's not gonna fix the sparking wires or the slapping wires, secondary lines out on oil field equipment that's faulty, dragging a chain down the road, or people welding in grass that's waist high. The burn ban, I think, would open people's eyes to looking at that type of stuff if they're gonna do it. Maybe not for their control burning that day. Maybe they can look at the weather, because we're fixing to get into the months where the wind's predominantly gonna start blowing quite a bit more. We have a chance of rain, I think, in the next couple of weeks, about the middle of March to the end of March. Right in there, we got some pretty decent chances.
Chance next week.
Which, we all know how that goes. Who wants to put something on 2 weeks out and put the stamp of approval on it? So, the general consensus of talking with them were they didn't care either way if you put it in or didn't. I think we gave all the control burn people that wanted to do some burning, we gave them more than ample enough time to do it. If you haven't burned by now, well, might need to wait a little bit, but like I said, that's not my call. And I don't think any of them would be opposed to putting a burn ban in. I know Clay County implemented theirs, and they forwarded or extended it to like March 4th or 5th. Archer County had gotten out of theirs, but they had put theirs back in, and then Wilbarger. The KBDI for yesterday was 401 for here, which is a lot lower than our numbers. But as we're getting along here, the numbers are not really going to be indicative of what the conditions are. When the fire starts, they're gonna be a lot more violent. They're gonna be spreading rapidly. Even though we're at the lower KDBIs, we're still gonna be able to burn. So there's a lot of stuff in there that a person needs to look at, with this time frame that we're in for the next month, maybe, until we get some moisture, and then spring comes along, hopefully we'll get rains, and then everything will green up. Which there are some areas where there's green weeds starting to grow, but a lot of the pastures, a lot of the areas, a lot of the fields are still dormant and nothing growing. So, a week ago, on the 16th, we were at 385. So we've come back in a week, 17 points, 18 points. So, like I said, it's strictly up to you guys. We want to kind of discuss it a little bit more.
So to summarize from the chief's perspective, they've moved off of, it's probably not necessary to, it could go either way at this point.
Yes.
I sent it to Dwayne yesterday, but National Weather Service had put out, essentially it's a map of Texas and Oklahoma showing combination of if you're at excess fuel load and how that is relating to soil drought conditions. And all of Wichita County was in not all, the eastern, there's a small tip in the eastern portion that wasn't, but pretty much all in the worst. Where the KDBI were not in terrible soil, completely dry conditions, but the fuel load is there that if one takes off, here we go.
Yeah.
And Judge, we can enter a burn ban for a select period of days
We can.
without being too difficult.
Yeah.
I think the people are beginning to expect it.
Yeah.
I don't mind making the motion if we enter into one and continue to revisit it.
Yeah.
How much time do you wanna give before we put it on?
What sounds good, Dwayne? Or do we do
Well,
a
I mean,
month
No,
or-
sorry, before it becomes effective.
Right.
Do we wanna give some time?
It's red flag warning today, I'd say
Yeah, I
today.
think we gotta
Effective
go right
immediately.
in.
Yeah,
really
I mean,
do.
we got conditions today, and I think we're supposed to skip tomorrow, and then I believe Friday, or Thursday, we're supposed to be.
Well, it's very
elevated.
confusing to people when they see a red flag warning, then they understand we're not in a burn ban. So
Yes.
to me, it kinda evens it up and,
From the standpoint of communication and giving folks time to actually see
Yeah.
it happen, and we know that our deputies aren't gonna go out, at lunch as soon as we make the announcement, but probably be best if we're gonna do it to make it at like a midnight tonight type.
that'd be great.
Type
And
timeline.
and we do need to revisit it constantly because this is gonna change drastically
Yes.
over the next few weeks. And we're not doing it to really cause any problem to anybody, but I think it does send the warning that it's bad out there. These guys, these volunteer and our professional fire department, they don't need to practice.
Yeah. They've got enough practice already. We don't
They're
need-
practiced up, so let's not.
And another thing is too, I'd kind of make a point, like I said, when the judge sent me that, I thought, well, we need to revisit this and look at it. So I've sent that information out and kind of told them, say, hey, let's look at this seriously, and all of them responded and got back with me and to put a lot of thought into it. I guess my biggest deal is if we're not in a burn ban and something happens, I mean, you can't, accidents just happen, that's just part of it, but I think it'd be a lot of questions wanting to know why we weren't in one.
It's an awareness
Versus-
deal too.
And that's all it is, it's awareness, keeping people aware that we're in a burn ban, don't, pay attention to what you're doing and all that.
Well, and I actually think that us having this discussion every week for the last 2 months may have done
That's
more
helped.
for awareness
I
than
agree.
having
Yes.
done one 6 weeks ago, but yeah,
And it supports our surrounding counties that are
Yes.
also drifting back into it. I think things just work better if 2 or 3 counties together in the same general location work together and get everybody on the same page. To
'Cause I'm
me,
not sure if you guys get them, you may not, but I know Lynn and I both get a lot of questions about, well, why is this county in it next door and we're not? Well, and then you have to try to explain to them why we're not in it, because our controlled burn people have been doing a good job, but.
And I
With
think
that-
it's important to, we've not had any issues, nothing that has happened, a burn ban would have helped.
right.
Exactly.
So we're actually taking the time to look at that and talk to our people about it instead of just enacting a burn ban. Which, and I'm probably not quite as eager to jump on this as everybody else, but just for that reason. But I'm not against it by any means, but.
Do we have to put an end date on it, or we just say that we're gonna review it each week
I think
as
we
we've
have
been?
to put
There has to, I think it's 30 days.
Okay.
And I think that's I mean, y'all know,
We still
we can
keep it on the
always,
agenda.
we can always end it
Always
sooner,
come back.
and we can always,
if need be, yes.
I'm
Extend
hoping
one.
in 2 weeks it's so wet around here that we don't have to worry about it, but you just don't know if that's coming or not.
But like I said, talking to them, they weren't opposed at all. If you decided to do that, there wouldn't be any hard feelings, so I'm not swaying you either way. I'm just throwing that out there for
well, I
information.
think that Commissioner Mahler has the motion out there to enact a 30-day burn ban, effective at 12:01 a.m. on February 25th, which is tomorrow morning. I think Greg already actually walked out to get started on the press release.
Jeff seconded, or?
Yeah, and Commissioner Watts seconded it.
But we're gonna review it each week.
Yeah,
Still.
We absolutely will.
Yeah, if y'all wanna.
You don't have to come give a statement.
Yeah,
but-
we'll have it as an agenda item to talk about, and
Okay.
then we
I
can.
think we should. I think that's been probably the biggest factor so far.
So at 12:01 tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure is
And-
fun to pull one off when it's raining straight down outside. That's the best
Yes.
time. That's the best time.
Dwayne, if you'll, when you leave here, get with Greg, make sure y'all are both coordinated, and we'll get the message out to everybody.
Best way to make it rain.
That's right.
Rain dances.
Okay, so we've got a motion by Commissioner Mahler, seconded by Commissioner Watts. Again, I'll say it, 30-day burn ban effective 12:01 a.m. on February 25th. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or the item? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thanks, Dwayne. All right, it is currently 11:27. At this time, we are going to move into closed session for the consideration of 3 different items. Discussion regarding a change order for the installation of external and internal security devices at the courthouse and courthouse annex ongoing project. Discussion regarding a change order for the installation of external and internal security devices at the Juvenile Justice Detention Center ongoing project. Those are both
Thanks,
under
guys.
Texas Government Code, section 551.089. And a briefing and discussion with Civil Chief of the District Attorney's Office regarding potential LEC construction litigation. That item and part of the meeting will be closed pursuant to Texas Government Code, section 551.071. This time, if you've not been authorized to remain here for the discussion, I'd ask that you vacate the courtroom. You're here. is 12:05 p.m. Hadn't had to say that in a while. We're back in open session. We've got 2 items for action in open session. First, discuss, consider, and or take action to approve Digi Security Systems quote number 021538 in the amount of $14,252.07. I will change that number when we get to the motion. For the installation of external and internal security devices at the courthouse and courthouse annex to be paid from general fund contingencies with lines determined by the county auditor. Commissioners, I would suggest that if we make a motion to move forward with this, we have the same quote number, but for $14,180.80 to come from 236, which is courthouse security, and $11,757.80 to come from 409 for these security devices.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Fincannon, to approve that quote. What's wrong?
The agenda states that the only change orders for 14.
Okay.
So we just had a typo on the agenda amount, is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
the amount came back different.
Got it.
Okay, we've got that motion before us. Sorry, we've got that motion before us by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Fincannon. Do you have any questions or comments on the motion or the item? All right, that motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 2, discuss, consider, and or take action to approve Digi Security Systems quote number 021540 in the amount of, I crossed this through, can someone read that for me? What is it?
$7,878.84.
$7,878.84 for a change order for the installation of external and internal security devices at the Juvenile Justice Detention Center to be paid from juvenile fund contingencies with lines determined by the county auditor. This one also was entered in incorrectly. It should be $8,900.22. Do we have a motion?
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Fincannon to approve Digi's quote 021540 on the amount of $8,900.22, paid from 409. Do you have any questions or comments on the motion or the item? That motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. It is 12:08 and court is adjourned.